Mr. Transformers 96 here with another Marvel Legends ranking video. This time we have the newest Venom wave featuring the Venompool Build-A-Figure. So I'm going to be ranking this wave from my least favorite to my favorite. The only figure I don't include in the ranking is the Build-A-Figure, just because it's a little hard to compare the Build-A-Figure with the other standard figures. The only time I ever include him, or include the Build-A-Figure, is if the Build-A-Figure is basically on par, so it's kind of the same size as the regular figures, which always annoys me. But luckily we have a solid big Build-A-Figure here, like it should be, and we have a solid wave overall. This is a great wave, to be honest. A little hard to rank these. My favorite was an easy one to determine, even my first couple, but especially when it came to the end of the wave, it was quite hard just because it's a really solid wave overall. And again, I'm comparing when I rank them, it is based on the figure quality. It's based on my personal preferences as well, of course. Certain characters that I'm more predisposed of, I'm going to tend to like a little bit better. However, I do take the actual figure itself, as the majority of the account. So there you go. So let's get started here with my least favorite figure of the wave. And in last place, we have Miles Morales Venomized. Figure is pretty decent, but just a little bit on the plain side. The final two in this series I found really hard to kind of compare because they're very similar in a lot of ways. Good figure. I like the face sculpt. The arms are new, which is very nice, and the feet are new. The body and legs are the same basic design that they've been using. Overall, decent style, and not a bad figure by any means, just out of the wave, kind of my least exciting for me personally. And taking the fifth spot, we have Ghost Spider or Venom, whatever kind of name that you'd like to use. Overall, my same type of deal with Miles Morales. It has a few new parts, the hood is obviously completely new. I believe the jacket's fully new. The arms from the elbow down are new, and the feet are new. So it has a few new parts, but the rest is kind of your basic sculpt. It's a little bit on the plain side, to be honest. It's okay. It is kind of based off of, at least the Miles Morales and this Ghost Venom are almost based on the animated show, which is something that I don't particularly watch. So they're just a little not super exciting for me personally. Nonetheless, it's a good figure though, and I do rank her higher than Miles because I think that her hood with the tongue attached to the hood, and then the hood almost being like a mouth, is very unique and interesting, so that does give it a little bit of an oomph. But overall, not bad figures, just in my opinion, kind of the lower on the excited side of the wave. And taking that fourth spot, we have Morbius. Overall, pretty decent figure, completely new body, new head, hands, there's a decent amount of new stuff, cape, of course, and I really do like the sculpt overall, especially on the head sculpt and the hair. I think it looks quite cool. The only thing that keeps him a little lower on this list is I think that the paint is very basic. I'd like maybe to have like a gray wash kind of in the white of his face, just to really like outline the line work. That would be cool. Or maybe like a bit of a white going through his hair, just to outline some of the different strands. Or in his cape, like a black wash. That would have been quite nice. I feel like he's a little basic when it comes to paint. Sculpt wise though, quite a nice figure. And taking the bronze, we have Phage here. This is a symbiote that I do really like. I like the kind of the team that he's associated with, and having Lasher and Scream, we're getting a little closer to completing it, so it would be awesome if in the future they do add the other members. Nonetheless, this is a good addition. Figure-wise, he is your kind of basic sculpt, but with an upgrade. He has a new backpack piece, as well as new pieces on his forearms and on his shins there, which I think are really cool. He's an interesting armor because instead of the goo like we see mostly coming off of symbiotes, he has more sharp edges. And I think that he comes with a great accessory, an interchangeable hand knife, which I think is awesome. I was expecting that to be something that like pops over the hand. So to see that it is actually like a hand itself, I think it's great. I love the fact that it looks like it's kind of gooing on. And that's just an awesome accessory. So overall, I'm very happy with this figure. And in second place, we have Carnage. This is a great figure. Carnage is my favorite Marvel character, so I'm fine getting more Carnages, because I do have a few already. They've done a few within the past couple of years. However, this is a solid upgrade. This isn't just like another Carnage with a new head and a new accessory or something like that. This is a completely new sculpt. The sculpt is 100% sculpted, so essentially the line work of the symbiote goo is all sculpted on. None of it's just painted. sculpted. He even has the muscle lines sculpted underneath too, especially in the chest. You can see that. He looks great. He comes with 2 head sculpts. One is a classic Carnage head, and then one is this kind of like absolute Carnage head sculpt, which I think is really cool. It's a really aggressive looking sculpt, and the texture in it is just really fantastic. Because, you know, it's not just like that the line work is just, it's slightly etched in. No, it's actually like fully popping off of the sculpt, which is awesome. A great figure, a fantastic update to a figure that we've already had, and just a fantastic character to do it with. So absolutely fantastic. There's just one like great figure in this wave that does beat him. However, this is a fantastic figure. Alright, and my favorite figure of the wave does have to be the movie Venom. Movie Venom, character-wise, is something that I've wanted since the movie came out. Obviously, that never happened, and it looked like it never would, but we're finally getting a figure of him, which is great, so that's just on its own is very exciting. The figure itself is fantastic. It's 100% a new sculpt. It's a big sculpt, as you saw at the beginning, and you'll see here in the end when I have them all together. He is really big. You know, the only figure that's bigger than him, of course, is the Build-A-Figure, but he's a really big figure as far as height and bulk. The entire thing has a great sculpted texture. It's not just like a plain, you know, body. It actually does have almost like a gooey look to him. They've almost given him a bit of a wash where he looks a little wet in places, which is really cool. The way that they have the kind of vein work sculpted, I think is really nice. It has a great fade to it, and the head sculpts are really good, and you get 2 sculpts, which is great. Overall, a fantastic figure. The only thing that I would usually mark it down for is the fact that it doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, and that bothers me when they release a great figure, but they make it like an extra thing that you have to buy, and not a part of the series that actually has the Build-A-Figure. However, I give this a pass because the standard Build-A-Figure usually has 6 figures that you need to buy to complete the Build-A-Figure. This wave only has 5, so essentially they could have given him a Build-A-Figure piece and still had it be the same amount, but instead they decided not to give him a Build-A-Figure piece and just have you buy less figures to build the Build-A-Figure. So because of that, I give him a pass. You know, if the 6 figures... If there were 6 more figures that came with Build-A-Figure pieces and they made you buy this guy just separately, that would annoy me a bit. But since it's less than usual, I think it's completely fine. And the Build-A-Figure is not any smaller than usual, so that's completely fine with me. So overall, fantastic figure, capping off a fantastic wave. So there's my ranking of the latest Venom wave featuring the Venompool Build-A-Figure. This overall is a fantastic wave. This is one that started off because the first figures that they showed for it were the 2 that were my least favorite. The Venom / Ghost Spider and Miles Morales, but then after every new reveal I got more and more excited for this wave, and then the Build-A-Figure on top of it is a very strong choice for a Build-A-Figure as well. Just a really good wave overall, because even my least favorite figure I still think is a good figure, but just not that exciting, to be honest. But movie Venom, Phage, Carnage, the Build-A-Figure are just like stunning. Absolutely, I love them. And then Morbius and the 2 other Venomized characters I think are just good figures. So overall, a really solid wave. One that I would highly recommend. And I'd recommend the entire wave to complete the Build-A-Figure because the Build-A-Figure is really solid as well. It's a great Build-A-Figure. So overall, a solid wave, not only with really good figures, but with good character choice as well. And I do like the variety here too. So definitely 100% recommended. Let me know what you guys think of your ranking, or excuse me, my ranking. And I'd also love to see your guys' ranking in the comments as well. And thanks so much for watching.